morning, or good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to day 19 of 21 Days of Yoga with Colette. Thank you for joining me and making it to the mat today. So we're going to begin the easy seat. Just to allow ourselves to be grounded and warm up. And just taking some breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, really releasing. Once again, in through the nose, filling up, and then out through the mouth. Palms can be down or up, and eyes can be closed or at a soft gaze. Today's intention for this practice is grace. It's obviously one of my favorite intentions and favorite words when it comes to yoga. And it just really helps me to be more mindful and aware of showing myself grace on and off the mat. So we're going to begin with palms together, heart center, and allowing ourselves to first just see what comes to mind when we think of grace. There is an immense amount of definitions out there for grace, both connecting to spirituality and religion and not. I think the simplest definition for me is just being thankful and allowing favor over your body, your mind, other people. Because nobody's perfect, right? And so we just have to allow them that grace, that little bit of time, and that little bit of understanding. And I'm going to give my hands up above my head, really elongating my spine, keeping my neck engaged as well in the crown of my head parallel to the ceiling, and then lifting my left body up and over as if I'm moving over a barrel, and really just allowing that lateral stretch, and maybe placing my right arm down to help support me, and holding this for 3, 2, and 1. Placing this left arm down, and then bringing the right over, and just really just doing a spinal twist, looking over my shoulder for 3, 2, 1, and then unraveling back to center, hands back up. Once again, that right body lifting up and over, and then placing that left down for 3, 2, and 1. Placing that right arm down and doing a little twist. And looking over my shoulder. And then unraveling, really shaking that out. Maybe lifting my shoulders up and down in a circular motion, just waking up my body, and then doing it the other way. And then I'm going to clasp my hands right behind my back, and really just first just forward fold, lifting and bringing the clasp up. And then do the reverse by really pulling the clasp down, lifting my heart up and over, shining it through. And then just shake that out. And just waking up all parts of my body. Next, I'm going to get into downward dog. Not downward dog, tabletop. Having my hands open, my fingers engaged. I realize the more I've been doing this with this 21 days, my wrists have not hurt as much, right? The tension has been alleviated. Here, and so I'm just going to circle again, just waking up my wrist. And then maybe doing the reverse. And then having them facing towards me. And then facing each other internally. Left to right, right to left. Okay. And then just shaking that out, and then pulling your hair back. And I might have to. Right. And now, in this tabletop, I can do some cat and cow poses, lifting, opening up my chest and my heart, tilting my tailbone up in this cow, shining my heart through, breathing in, and then exhaling, tilting my tailbone down, concaving my heart in into this cat pose, and continue that motion of tilting up, opening my heart, looking diagonally up at the sky or your ceiling, maybe looking actually outside if you have windows, and seeing how this beautiful nature can be. And then tilting my tailbone down, concaving my heart in. And do a few more at your own pace. And then shake that out. Tucking my toes and just hovering to wake myself up for 3, 2, 1. Pushing my tailbone back and up into a downward dog. Begin walking that out. Wake up, I'm a little stiff. Maybe bending my knees, lifting up. And then doing my 3-legged dog, really just waking up this leg, maybe doing some circles. And then placing it back down. And doing the same for the other leg, lifting it up, doing some circles, back down. And then lifting up this right leg, stepping it in between, down into a low lunge. Waking up our body, right? So it can be a deep low lunge, knee over ankle. Really sitting in that pose, sitting up for 3, 2, and 1. Release. And then walking my hands back into now a half split with this leg being as straight as possible for you. You can bend the knee if you need so, and maybe flexing those toes back to really deepen that hamstring stretch. Forward fold, knee to nose for 3, 2, and 1. And then walking back up into this low lunge, maybe just sinking a little bit deeper in it. Now they're a little bit more awake for 3, 2, 1, back, and then I'm going to bring my foot back over and then up and back into downward dog, pedaling that out. Now I'm doing the same for the left, right? My right feels awake. Now I'm going to wake up my left in between in my low lunge, sitting in this deep low lunge, really opening my hips, squaring them forward for 3, 2, 1. And then walking my hands back, flexing my toes if possible, forward fold for 3, 2, and 1. And then back into this low lunge again. For 3, 2, and 1. And then back into downward dog. I know for me, sometimes I can get lost or just kind of go blank when I'm in certain yoga. Things just run through my mind. And I'm not always present, but I allow myself grace. Right. And so look forward. Walking my feet to my hands. And then now forward fold. Bending and alternating my legs, right? I feel that one side is a bit tighter than the other. And just giving my body grace and being just thankful for what it's given me so far, what it's done. And it's okay if one side is different, right? Maybe bending your knees to alleviate that tension. And then putting opposite hands to opposite elbows and just ragdoll, nodding yes and no. And once again, just walking that out. Placing my hands on my shins, lifting up into a half lift, really engaging the front and back of my torso. Flat back as much as possible. And then hands back down on the mat, forward fold. And then stepping back into a plank, fingers open, shoulders over wrist, tilt forward, slowly lower to belly, untuck the toes, and then lift and shine your heart open again as if you were in cow pose. So now we're in cobra, really opening our chest up, pushing it through, getting that deep back bend. And then lower. Untuck the toes and lifting up and back again. Lifting up that back leg, right back leg, stepping it through. And this time I'm now in runner's lunge, right? Runner's lunge. And here I'm going to lift up and in high lunge with my hands up above my head, really keeping my back toe and the ball of foot on the mat, my heels off. My front foot and toes are engaged. My knee is still bent. My back foot is active. My hips are squared and neutralized, and I can either have a goal pose or cactus, or up for 3, 2, 1. Bringing my hands back down, and this time with my hands down, I'm going to turn that back foot, right, so that the toes are about perpendicular to the side of the mat. And now bringing my hands, my right hand over, and lifting up and opening up with this knee bent into side angle pose. For 3, 2, and 1. And bringing my hands back down. And then maybe I'll do a revolve side angle by placing this left hand down and lifting up this right, really opening my chest to the right side of the room. For 3, 2, and 1. Bringing my hands back down, maybe scoot this leg in more, straighten this front leg. Place my right arm back on the other side, the left side, and then I'm going to open up my left side, up and over, up and forward, so that it's opening to the left side in triangle pose. Ooh, I really feel it in my front hamstring, right? If you need a block, right, sorry, this should be up a little bit more. If you need a block to bring the ground closer, or maybe just touch your ankle and holding this for 3, 2, and 1. Back down, bend that leg, go back into this runner's lunge, lower that left knee, and then bring back that right into tabletops, and lifting up and back into downward dog. Power that out, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side before we forget. Lifting up that left leg, stepping it through. All right, we are now in runner's lunge, lifting up into high lunge, really engaging those front toes, the back toes, or cactus, and holding this for 3, 2, and 1. Putting my hands back down to runners, turning this back foot so that it's perpendicular, right? And I'm now in side angle, really holding as I'm holding a side plank for 3, 2, and 1. Hands back down, placing my left hand and then lifting up and over to the left side into side angle twist for 3, 2, and 1. Back down, and now straightening this front leg, scoot this back leg in as I move, and now into a triangle pose. 3, 2, and 1. And now maybe even doing a revolve side and triangle pose, placing this right arm down, lifting up the left for 3, 2, and 1. So now I'm going to twist that foot back down into runner's lunge, lower that right knee, bring back that left, and then lift up and back into downward dog. Just walking out that downward dog, looking forward, walking my feet to my hands. Hopefully my body's a little bit more warmed up in here this too. Keep bringing my hands to my shins, lifting up at the flat back or halfway lift. Lower back down into plank, stepping back, shifting down, chaturanga, or lower to belly, lifting up into cobra, back down, and then tucking the toes and lifting back up and back into downward dog. Now I'm going to make my way to my knees and then lower to my booty, right, as I do some seated poses, right, so we're going to begin in staff pose, really just waking up my legs. And so here I'm going to do first a forward fold, lifting up and over, maybe touching my toes, my heels, or my ankles, whatever. And really just trying to bring chest to thigh without hunching back. 3, 2, and 1. Loosen that out. Right, and then bringing that right knee and then dropping it into a now, like it's kind of like a half, as I now do a half forward fold, staff fold. So lifting up, and once again, hinging forward fold here for 3, 2, and 1. Release. And doing the same thing for the left. I know for me, one side is a bit different than the other. But just allowing yourself to give your body parts grace. Give yourself grace, right? Maybe you can go further down some days than others, but that's okay if you're just not all the way down today. So once again, lifting up and over for 3, 2, and 1. Right, and then just shaking that out. And now with that right leg, I'm actually going to bring it up and kind of hold it as I'm holding a baby. So bringing that right arm underneath that right calf and then holding my foot with my left hand and just lifting it up and really just cradling it, keeping my back flat and straight. So really bringing my foot to me, my chest versus my chest to it, or me leaning back. Right? And holding this for 3, 2, ooh, it feels really good today, and 1, and then just release that. Same thing for the left side. I know for me, my left may not be as open as my right, but that's okay. Holding this for 3, still cradling, still rocking, breathing into those tight areas. 2, and 1, and then release that. And we're going to shift to our back as we move into bridge pose. Right, fingers, heels touching our middle fingers, not too close, not too far. Hip width apart, really squeezing down, right, engaging our bottom of our feet and our hands to help press up our pelvis. Right, squeezing our thighs in, then our chest, and making sure our chin is parallel to the ceiling. Squeezing again for 3, 2, and 1. Release. And one last time again. Really pressing down into the mat, pressing our feet and our palms down, lifting up our pelvis, chest for 3, 2, and 1. Release. And then here I'm actually going to straighten my legs out and actually lift up this left arm so that's bent, so the elbows right underneath the shoulder. Same thing for the right, keeping my feet engaged, pointed, or flexed, and then lifting my chest up and over as over a barrel. And fish pose. Just dropping my head back. Really get that upper mid-body back stretch here for 3, 2, and 1, and release. And just lowering down into close pose. Maybe releasing the tension from the shoulders. Bring up what the intention of 3. And see what comes up to you. And how much grace do you not only show others, but show yourself? Some people see grace synonymous with love. It's important to show ourselves love. Everyone is showing love. So if you have more time to sit here and do so, if not, you can begin bringing movement to your fingers and toes. Maybe lengthening out long way. And then gently lifting up your knees and rolling to one side. And then making your way to easy seat or whatever seated position is comfortable for you. And then taking some last breath here into the nose. And then maybe out through the mouth with a bit of a palms together, heart center. The light in me, see the light in you. Thank you for joining me on day 19.